Hello all, I am back in this book, 200 crochet blocks. I'm doing this, my interpretation of this circle in a square. I will not be showing the book because I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know where to set it either. Set it over here. It takes 5 colors, so I have selected these 5 colors, and this is going to be my A, B, C, D, and E. And let's just see how it goes. I don't know. Nothing like the colors they chose. Kind of all over the place. This one is not worked in rows. It's worked in rounds, which is kind of exciting. I like rounds. I marked out, not that you can see it because, there we go. Because it's bright outside, I guess. My camera is not doing a good job of catching that. But, what the row is and what color it is so that I can keep track of that, because that's the type of thing that I would mess up if I didn't keep track of it. I'm going to move my book so I can see it better. So it starts out with a ring because circles, you know, circles always start out with a ring. So it is warm today, but it is not as hot as it has been, which is nice. That's pretty straightforward. Just a bunch of doubles in the ring. It's supposed to be a little bit cooler this week, which I'm excited about because I don't like the heat. I've mentioned that about 10,000 times. And of course, my husband went to the coast for work today, and he's like, oh, it's 50 degrees, and the fog hasn't risen yet, and it's drizzly. And I was like, stop bragging, or bring it back with you or something. But that's okay. Yay for air conditioning. Yay for being able to stay in the house. Although I went to work for a couple minutes, which is fine. I split my yarn. Just a reminder, these are not tutorials. I am not teaching anything here. I am working on my own personal skills. So if you're expecting a tutorial, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong spot. I'm almost done with this round. The center seems really big compared to the picture, but that's what it called for. 16. And then join a slip stitch right here, but I am not going to do that exactly that way. I'm going to join my next color right there. Instead, maybe if I can get my hook through there. Perfect. We'll be back to A in a minute. So, okay, what are we calling for here? Five. Also pretty straightforward. Doubles, and I'm going to cover up my tail if I can. No, I can't cover up my tail. I can cover up one of my tails. This one. Doubles and chain twos. All the way around. So I kind of put my YouTube channel on hiatus. I was really thrown for a loop when the software that I used to edit my videos put out an update, and everybody on YouTube was talking about what a horrible update it is and the rights that they took away when they did it. And so I had to go find a new editing software. I was using CapCut. So that whole process started over with looking for another software. So now I have DaVinci Resolve, and then I had to learn how to use it. And that was one that I had actually looked at before I got CapCut, but it just seemed too what is the word I'm looking for? Too involved. Like it had too many features that I didn't think I needed. CapCut seemed pretty straightforward for what I was doing. And I guess that I'm grateful that I had CapCut first, because I got comfortable with basic editing software, and so this time around learning DaVinci Resolve didn't seem like such a big hurdle. The last time I downloaded it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know, I can't. So now I have DaVinci, and so I've been learning that and then trying to get caught up and get some stuff edited, because a lot of it's been filmed, it just hasn't been edited to be posted because, okay, let's stop here. I need to count. Hold on. 16. Yep. So now I'm going to join again. Anyway, so I just decided that I couldn't take the stress of it all, of trying to learn the new software and get caught up again, and I didn't want to do that. So it's July, but I'm not going to start having stuff posted again until August. So you definitely won't see this until August. I don't know what day. Just because, there's other life also. Like, I have other jobs, 2 of them, in fact, and a husband and a life, and so I didn't want to completely freak out and try to stay on my schedule that I had been on before. So I decided I would just not post anything until August, and that will make my life easier. So if you noticed, all 13 of you that are subscribers, that I had a big gap in July where there was nothing. That's why. Because I just decided that the pressure wasn't worth it. And honestly, I don't think it is. I need to go for a second. I will be right back. You won't even notice that I was gone, but I'll be right back. Okay, where was I? Anyway, so the moral of the story is that you should not take life too seriously. And, I watch a lot of the people that talk about how to grow your channel and posting on Facebook and blah, blah, or not Facebook, but on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. And I really think some of them just really either take themselves way too seriously, or I don't know, something. I'm not monetized. Maybe that would be different. I don't know that I'll ever be monetized. It's not important to me. This is not a teaching channel. This is a video record of me working on improving my own personal hobbies. maybe my perspective is different. I don't know. I have noticed that a lot of the channels that I watch that are monetized, I feel like produce an occasional what I would call crap video of where they somehow have to fulfill the expectations of the world or something. There's the things I wouldn't do video, the things I wouldn't buy video, the question and answer videos. And I'm not saying I will never do one of those. I just kind of feel like when you watch YouTubers switch over to those kind of videos, it doesn't feel as authentic as when they're doing what they enjoy and what they love. I feel like it's an obligation, like, oh, well, I have a monetized channel, so I have to do certain videos, or I have to follow certain trends. And I hope that I'm never like that. I hope that I do not have to do those things. I want to make the content that I want to make, and if nobody watches it, well, you know what? That is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. Again, this is for me. So I'm going to do what makes my own personal heart sing. And if that means not posting for 3 weeks in July, then I'm not going to post for 3 weeks in July. If that means that I have to take time off, or I don't follow through with something, or I do follow through with things, those are all for me and for what I want to do. And I really wonder when these YouTubers are doing those trendy types of videos, if first of all, I personally skip those usually. That's not the kind of content that I personally want to watch. I see that they get video views, so I wonder if people just consume content to consume content, regardless of what it is. I mean, there are times when I put on YouTube while I'm doing something, and it does. I don't even know if I hear it. It's just background noise. So maybe that's possible. But maybe there are people who really want to see that kind of stuff. I am just unaware of it. Something's going on here that I don't like. Okay. Getting excited with my little join here. I believe that that was round 3. On to my next color here. Join with my next color. Maybe. Okay. Color number 4. In the chain 1 space. Chain 3. Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time sometimes. 3 times. 1, 2, one more time. Anyway, I realize that I am the odd one in life. That's a corner I just made there. That I don't have the same wants and desires as other people as far as communication goes. Sorry, I keep stopping. My mom has stress tests today, and my dad is texting me to tell me about it. my dad lost his hearing during COVID. We assume from COVID, although... Oh, I am so doing this wrong. Oh my goodness. Let's just back up right here. Absolutely wrong. This... I'm glad I caught that. I'm like, this isn't right. This we're going to join with the actual color that it's supposed to be joined with. Oh, mistakes. I love them. And join. And I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to pull this to the back so I can deal with it later. Okay, let's try again and actually follow the directions this time. We're supposed to join this to a chain one space, which would be like right here. And then chain three, and then single into the next chain one space, which is way over here. That seems really small. Doesn't seem like enough chains, but that's okay. We'll try it. Oh, let go, blue. Let go, let go. Anyway, my dad lost his hearing during COVID, so even if he called me, I wouldn't be able to respond to him because he wouldn't be able to hear me. So my dad's primary form of communication is texting. I'm not sure why my mom is not the one that is texting. Maybe she's still taking her test. I don't know. Oh, that's better. That makes more sense. My goodness. I don't remember what I was talking about. I was talking about people being different. People always want to tell you their story, what's going on with them, and I just don't know that it's always... It's important that we tell our stories, I think, but I think it's important who we tell our stories to. Some random person that you're renting a storage unit from is probably not the right person. I don't know. I find I'm a bit old-fashioned about things sometimes. But I don't think that that is a bad trait either. Oh wait, that's supposed to be 6. Woo. Back to the YouTube thing though, the so-called experts on how to grow your channel are like, oh, you need to niche down. You need to only do the things that do like one thing. You can't be all over the place. Well, if that is the case, then I will truly never have a channel that would even be worth monetizing, because I knit, I crochet, I do watercolor now. I do embroidery. I do all kinds of stuff, and I don't want to niche down. I want to do all of the different things that entertain me and not be like, oh, this is only a crochet channel. I don't want to be like that. So if that bars me from ever being monetized, I guess I will never be monetized. And again, not important to me. I don't care. I don't need this for to sustain myself. I have 2 other jobs. My husband has a job. To double into the first chain 3 space. Um, so, maybe someday I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need that money, but that someday is not this someday. And so I'm going to enjoy the luxury of just being able to film and do whatever I want. Maybe not everybody has that luxury. I would like to know, I would like this to not be like this. I'm going to change the pattern because I'm coming out of this, what would be the single, and they want 3 doubles in each of these chain 3 spaces, and I'm not in the chain 3 space right there. I am on top of that single, and then that one would be weird. So I just slip stitched into that space so that I'm actually in it. And nothing in between them, so we'll just go for it. Anyway, I am fortunate in that I have the time to indulge in my hobbies, and I have the resources to indulge in my hobbies, and that I'm not hustling to make it my income. Very fortunate in that. Not everybody has that luxury, I guess. And I acknowledge that. I very openly acknowledge that I have luxuries in life and that I'm fortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. I wish everybody had that. I don't know how to get it for them, but and if that changes, then I will adapt and change accordingly. It's the only thing I can do. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'll be right back. I just realized I haven't taken any allergy medicine in days, so I'm not surprised that I am sneezy. I will have to take care of that, but I'm going to finish this square first. I think I can make it. Kind of pretty. I wasn't sure when I picked out the colors. We'll see how this green goes. I'm kind of worried about that. Kind of an aqua green. And I know that that orange is pretty bold. More of a, I don't know what that is, coral? It's a coral color. Basically, I have 2 drawers in my hallway closet stuffed with just scrap balls of yarn, and so when I want to make one of these blocks or anything that doesn't require very much, I just go to the drawer and pick out the number of colors that it says that I need, and go with that. All of the squares that I've made are wildly all over the place, so it'll be interesting when I put them together into a blanket how that looks. I think it will look fine because there's crazy blankets where you just crochet whatever color comes up next, you don't pay attention, and there's crazy quilts where you just throw together all your scraps and stuff. And I think it will be like that. My only concern is that I have a couple of blocks that I think are not quite the same size as all of the other blocks. So I will have to address that when it comes time to put the blocks together. Maybe put an additional border on them to make them closer in size to the other ones, or sort them by size maybe, and maybe there's enough to like group them all together in the center or do something like that. I don't know. I am a long ways away from that because this is block number 13, and so there will not be a quilt or blanket, I guess, anytime soon. Although with 200 blocks in the size that these blocks come out, I suspect that there'll be more than one blanket, because I can't imagine a blanket with 200 8 or 9-inch blocks. That would be ginormous. We'll see how it goes. Ah, my nose is so itchy today. I'm not sure why. It's the middle of summer, and usually allergies are calmer by now, but maybe not. Maybe there's something out there. It is smoky, though. It is wildfire season here in California, so it is a little bit smoky out there today and a bit breezy, so it could be the smoke that's doing it. Hard to say. Almost done with this round. Oh, yeah, almost done with this round. A side and a corner to go. I haven't crocheted in a while. Well, that's not true. I made a couple of I was crocheting with thread yesterday for a different project that I'm working on. If you see my collage garden video, I am making the same thing, but I'm doing it in black, and I'm going to attach it to a black background. I think black on black embroidery is so striking and so pretty, and so I'm going to crochet the whole collage in black and then attach it to a black background and see if I don't get something similar to black on black embroidery, like be my own take on the world. Or it could be a complete flop and I will have made a whole bunch of little black flower elements for no reason at all. Hard to say. But other than that, I have not been crocheting. I've been knitting every day. I've knitted every day for 40 days straight now. And I've been doing watercolor kind of every day. Not every day, but pretty close. I'm really enjoying that. That's a new thing for me. Those videos should be up or coming up if they're not up yet. Okay, last color. I should read and see. Any double. Oh, I'll be back. I was gone a lot longer than I expected to be because my mom called to tell me about her stress test. I don't really understand, but I guess it's not for me to understand. She said that she did really well and they didn't find anything, and I'm like, she's happy about that, and I was like, okay, but that doesn't explain why you went to have the stress test in the first place. Makes no sense, but not for me to know. In the meantime, I've had my lunch and now I'm back. And we're going to keep going and see if we can't get this done with less interruptions. I don't have any hope. It doesn't seem to be the story of my life. I'm going to say that is that one. So this is going to be this one. Seems really kind of far apart. Let's see how this looks. Kind of about the same. I don't even remember what we were talking about. It doesn't matter. I did have my lunch while I was gone. I am growing spaghetti squash this year, so I picked a spaghetti squash yesterday and I cooked it and then made some spaghetti sauce to go with it. My husband was like, ew. I was like, you don't have to eat it. You can eat anything else that you want. So I had leftover spaghetti squash just now, and I think it's delicious, but I understand that squash is not for everyone. I'm not a big zucchini or crookneck fan, so I won't pick on him. But the problem is, there's like 10 more spaghetti squash out there on the vine. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I put them out in front of my house on a table that says free or something, or put it on Facebook, free zucchini or spaghetti squash. Or the chickens are going to be really happy. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. The problem with growing a garden, how do you get just what you want and not too much? I do share with whoever wants to share with, so I've already given one of them to my mom. Sure she'll probably get more the next time she comes down. I have a friend that says she likes it, but she lives 45 minutes away, so I don't know if I will be seeing her to give her some or not. But there's a plant stand here in town called Leaf a Plant, and you can go drop stuff off and pick stuff up. I guess as a last resort I could go over there and drop some off. I personally would have a really hard time, I don't know why, getting produce from a stand like that. There's, I don't know, I need the quality control or the government oversight of making sure that my food doesn't have E. coli, and if it does, that there's some repercussions or something, Same thing with getting free food from people. Like, people are like, oh, I have extra of this. I'm like, no thanks. There's a stain on my yarn. I wonder if that's going to matter. Not going to matter enough for me to stop. Not super obvious, but I don't know, kind of like eating at potlucks. I have a hard time with that too. I eat what I bring, and I'm like, I'm going to pass. I don't know how long that potato salad's been sitting out. I'm not looking to get sick, It's probably just me. Probably lots of people eat lots of stuff and never get sick. And it's just me in my own weirdness. I wonder if I did that right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't know how many are on the side. 18, 19. That is not right. I should not have one there. There's only 19 on the sides, so this one should go in the corner. The pattern doesn't tell you how many. It does like on the first couple of rows, and then it doesn't tell you after that. This is some janky yarn I got going on here. It's got some, I don't know, stains or color problems or something with it. It's not super apparent. I'm suspecting that when I wound it up, I wound up the good side to the outside, maybe? I don't know, and since I'm pulling from the inside, I'm getting what was originally on the outside of the skein. I don't know that. Again, skein. I don't know. Let's find out. I'm just going to go over here and hopefully my mic picks it up. We're going to try this one. We'll see.
At how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting, related, and often mispronounced words as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. How do you say it? Skein. Skein. Pretty straightforward once you know. Skein. And now you know.
Oh, goodness. That was really funny. I don't know if I agree with him. Some people say skein, I think. Oh, there's a whole bunch of short videos. We'll try one more.
Did you know there are 3 different ways to address yarn? We have a ball of yarn, a hank of yarn, and a skein or skein of yarn. Let's talk about that word. This word is spelled S-K-E-I-N. Some people pronounce it skein, while others pronounce it skein. I used to pronounce it skein until I got yelled at 100 times in my videos, so I finally looked it up, and technically the correct way to pronounce it is skein. So I'm wondering, how do you pronounce it?
Okay, that was a short by Signani Macaroni. I don't. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna keep saying skein then, because that's how I have always said it. Skein. I don't know. Maybe it's like tomato. Not that I've ever met anybody that says tomato, but almonds or almonds, I do hear the difference there. And I say almonds, and people correct me and they say they're almonds, and I just look at them and I say I don't care, because I really don't care. Does it matter? You knew exactly what I was talking about when I said it. It wasn't like I was misleading you to some erroneous presumption or that I was saying something different or trying to, I don't know, be vague or contrary. If you know exactly what I'm saying in that situation of almond or almond, why do you need to correct me? I think both are correct. Pecan or pecan, I think that matters what side of the Rockies you live on. I call them pecans. So who knows? Who knows? I do know that if a word gets used enough, it becomes a word. So there is that, you know? There's plenty of words now that did not used to be words, like Google. And that one is now not just the name of the company, but a verb, something that you can do. So really, words evolve and become something else, and people need to relax, I think, a bit on some of that. So after this row, I have 2 more rows, one of the coral and one of the dark blue, but I think it goes in the other order. I think it's dark blue and then coral. And I've gotten a lot slower because there's a lot of double crochets going on around the edge of this, but that's okay. My mind just went absolutely flat line for a second there. I'm reading a book about craft. It's called Craft Psychology, and it's about how crafting is healthy and how it helps us be healthy and the many benefits of crafting. And one of the things that it says in the book is that you should have 10 projects going at any one given time. And I was like, 10 seems kind of like a low number. But the thought behind that is that we're not always in the mood to do any one in particular thing, and that you should be able to have choices so that you can craft and so that you can do things. And I haven't read entirely that section of the book because I just now got to it, but I had seen that in a magazine, which is how I ended up with the book in the first place. And in the magazine, it talks about how having different projects is important because some of them are challenging and some of them are not as challenging, and sometimes we have the time and energy and brain power for a challenge and sometimes we don't. And so it's important to be able to pick up whichever project works in that moment. And I would agree with that. Sometimes I just don't want to think. I just want to do something. And sometimes I'm up for a challenge. Right now I'm trying to learn how to use a Cricut. And it's very challenging. And I'm trying to learn to use a Cricut in a way that I don't think is necessarily, it's what it was designed for, but I don't know how to look up like a tutorial to use it that way. I found I found it first, and then I bought a course on sorry, I was reading how to make a collapsible box, which I thought was really cool. And I made the first collapsible box the way the tutorial showed you how to make it, which is basically cutting and folding everything by hand. And I thought, oh, what a great Christmas present it would be, because when you open the little, it's a book and it has all these little collapsible pages, and when you open each little collapsible box within the book, there's you put a picture inside. And I thought, oh, this would be a great Christmas present. So now I have to make like 10 of them if I want to give one to everybody. And I thought, I did not fold the first one very well. The tutorial was horrible. Oh my gosh, it was a recorded Zoom meeting. So there was a lot of dead space in it where she kept asking, is everybody there yet? Is everybody done this yet? Is everybody done that yet? Oh, I'm just going to wait. And then she would do things and not wait. And so then she would describe it to you, but you didn't really get to see her do it. The video quality was lackluster from the Zoom, and that was frustrating because it was not crisp and clear, and for something like that you would want it to be crisp and clear. Now, I did not pay a tremendous amount for the tutorial, but I paid enough that I felt like I should have gotten a better product. Needless to say, I did make a book. It is not fantastic. And so I had bought a Cricut off of Facebook, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, 6 months ago, that I have not actually used yet. And so I was like, I should probably even see if it works, because I could have bought a bum Cricut. It does work. Yay! And so now I'm trying to learn how to use the Cricut software to get it to cut out the paper and put the score marks in for where you fold. It's kind of like a little origami project, I guess, where you fold the paper to make the little collapsible boxes. And so I've been experimenting around with that. And the first big problem that I had is even using the lowest tack mat on the Cricut, I couldn't get the paper back off of it without tearing it. So off to the University of YouTube I go, and I find out that people just take a piece of cloth or a towel and pat it all over the mat to remove some of the tack from the mat, and that helped a lot. So that was the first thing. The second thing is I didn't feel like it scored the lines deep enough or well enough, and so I'm learning about pressure on how to make the lines scored deeper so that when I do pull it off of the mat, then I will be able to fold it. The moral of the story is I'm really glad that I have started this project in July and not like the first week of December, because I would not be giving it to anybody for Christmas if that were the case. I do need to get back to it. I also need to get back to one of my granddaughters wants a sunflower blanket, and I started it, and I made like one row of the granny squares, and then I got busy and kind of set it aside. And her birthday is September, maybe? I'd have to look. So I should probably get going on that again as well, because I was hoping to give it to her for her birthday. She's the only one of my grandchildren that asks me to make her things. The others are like, hey, whatever. I've made all of them hats before, and they all seem to like the hats, but the problem is, where we live, you don't really need hats. Not very much. Maybe a little bit in the winter, but we have really mild winters here. So, the thing about this particular granddaughter is that when you make her something, she actually appreciates it. The last thing she asked for was in December. She asked me to make her a scarf, and I was going on a cruise, so I bought a skein of yarn on my way to the cruise, and I made her a scarf, and then I had enough left over that I made her a little hat to go with it. And when I gave it to her, she like actually squealed with delight, and you could tell that she truly appreciates the gifts that she gets, and I like that. And she's also learning to crochet from me. She's only come over and had a couple of lessons, but nice to be able to pass on some of my hobbies to somebody who appreciates it. And I'm not saying the other girls are not appreciative. I'm not saying that at all. I'm sure that they are. It's just different. They don't have a desire for the handmade stuff that she does. Every time she comes over, she's like, can you make me this? Can you make me this? Can you make me this? And I'm like, maybe. If I have the time, I will try. No promises. This one got wound really tight. That's okay though. I'll pull a couple of times on it and it'll loosen up. Not this time though, because I'm done with it, but one more round. Yay. I'm basically at a point in my life where I don't really make things for people, because other than my husband and that granddaughter, excuse me, because people just really expect something for nothing, and they don't realize the effort and time that goes into it. I'm liking this. It's hard to see for the colors for you. It's not as bright as it appears because the window. It's a little on the darker side. That one I completely finished off because it's in a single crochet, and I just feel like it needs to be completely finished off. Anyway, I don't think people have any concept of, and I know that every crafter ever has talked about this, of how long it takes to make something and how much material it takes and the effort involved in making things. I think that unless you craft, you just don't know. Okay, get this one out of the way. Last round. Oh, that's funny. On every other round, it tells you where to join. On this round, just join. Just join wherever you want. It's okay. I'm enjoying working in this book, but I found a few places where I felt like the wording could have been better. I would say that there's typos. I just feel like the wording is a bit inconsistent in a few places. I know that there was a square not too long ago that I just truly, truly, truly struggled with. And it only had 2 crochet hooks. This one also has 2 crochet hooks, although I don't think it's difficult. This one was actually pretty easy, I think. So I have to do everything all the way around, and then in the corner, which I don't feel like I made a corner right there. I feel like I missed it. We put 3 in the corner. So on the subject of making things for people, I think that crafting should be like mandatory schoolwork from kindergarten through graduation from high school. I think that every single year you should have to take some sort of arts and crafts class, and it shouldn't just be for whoever wants it. I think everybody. I think home ec should also be mandatory. I never took home ec in high school because I didn't need to. I had home ec at home. But I just think that home ec should also be mandatory. It is amazing to me how many people don't actually know how to do some of the most basic stuff like cook. You know, I'm not saying we should all be chefs, but I think that there should be a level of cooking that people should be proficient at. I've said this before, I'll probably say it again, I'll say it many times in my life. I am so grateful that my parents taught me how to cook and bake and do things like that, that I can just either go to my kitchen or go to the store and almost literally make anything that I want to make. There's stuff I can't make. I probably could eventually figure it out on the really fancy end, but for the basic everyday eating, there's nothing I can't make. There's nothing that I can't have. If that's what I want to have, I just go make it, And I think that that's a gift. I think that too many people miss out on having that gift, which is too bad. I can't get into my corner. Hold on. My corner's a little tight. And I'm supposed to stick 3 stitches in there. Good luck. I don't feel like I did my corners correctly. I think that would be an error on my part. I'm not going back to fix them either. Errors are how your soul escapes. Otherwise your soul gets stuck. That's the funny thing about basic American culture. We don't have tales like that. Like Native Americans feel that way. Other cultures, I think the Norse have some version of that where mistakes are how your soul escapes from the item that you're making, but I don't think that the American culture has that kind of folklore. I'm not sure the American culture has folklore at all. I don't know. That would be interesting to look up and see. I don't know the answer to that. What would our folklore be? I'm sure we do, and I'm just not aware of it. It's probably all stuff, probably none of our own, just all stuff that we've gathered here and there and incorporated into our own folklore. I will not use the word appropriated because I don't think that we appropriate. I think that everything that we gather into our stories is an honor to wherever we got it, and I think that we spend way too much time being upset with people for wanting to have part of our own story be part of their story. That I'm not saying that correctly, but I think people spend way too much time worrying about how people are dressed or what they're doing with their hair, things like that, when you should just be honored that somebody wants to emulate you or imitate you. I would be really sad if I couldn't try or do arts and crafts from other cultures. I think that would be, I want to learn Sastriko. I'm doing a little bit of that. Am I appropriating that from the Japanese? I don't think so. I want to learn. I love Mexican embroidery. I think it is so pretty. They're vibrant colors and the different motifs and stuff that they use. Again, I don't think that's appropriation. I think that's emulation, and I think that is honoring their culture and their story by saying that I value this enough that I want to learn it. I wonder if I'd even be crocheting if we only let each culture hang on to their one little thing or their thing, and we didn't spread stuff across the world and let other people pick it up and use it and do things with it and grow and yada yada yada. My 2 cents worth is probably an unpopular opinion, but almost done, and then ends. Not my favorite part. I'll probably stop the video and tie my ends in and then come back because I'm right at the hour mark. It's getting a little long. It's funny to me how slow single crochet feels. I don't think it is any slower than a double or triple crochet. It just feels like a slow stitch to me. It's always felt slow to me. Probably because even after you're done with it, you didn't make much progress as far as adding on. My ball is coming to me. I'm just going to let it because I'm almost done. All I have to do is boop, boop, done. Okay, I'm going to tie off my ends and I'll be right back. Alright, it's finished. I got all my ends woven in. I'm going to tell you, it is significantly darker than it looks in the camera because of the light through my window is so bright, which doesn't seem like it in my living room, but the camera's picking up a lot of light. So there it is, my latest block. I like it. I don't know if I'd race right out to do another one. I'm not real keen on lots of single crochets, but it's pretty and I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching.